Thank you all for joining us today. Thank you all for joining us for the first and inaugural Bitcoin Day Tampa.
Woo!
We're very happy to have partnered with the Bitcoin Day team down in Naples. They've had Bitcoin Day Miami, and we'll be having Bitcoin Day Tyson's in September. So this is our first one. I think it's going pretty well. Thank you all for being here. Like I said... So like you said, my name is Wesley Schlemmer. I am the president of this foundation. We are a 501c3 nonprofit that helps coordinate the Tampa Bay Bitcoin community. This is joined by Ben and Fabio, our founder and vice president.
Yep.
I think we have a little timeline of our history on the screen right here. So we kind of just want to give you guys a quick rundown. I mean, it's been 3 years that we've been doing this, so didn't really expect to be going this long or this far, but so it all started January, the Thursday before Gasparilla, and thanks to Barnminer actually, if he's in here, he's the one who introduced us. But Ben can tell us a story about how he's been, how he started this and forked off of the old meetup.
Yeah, so unlike the two guys next to me, I'm not native Floridian. I came down here 4 years ago for the Bitcoin opportunity here, coming from Cleveland. There wasn't very much. And I came down here, and first thing I looked up was Bitcoin meetups, trying to meet people, and that's where I found Gabe Higgins. Shout out Gabe Higgins.
And Block Spaces for sponsoring.
And a fun fact about Tampa Bitcoin, we have one of the longest running meetups since 2013, so we stand on the shoulders of giants here, and we've been able to grow without that help. And I really wanted to meet the people in the area, and being a software engineer, I didn't have the developer community, so I would travel for 8 months straight. I would fly to Austin, Texas to go to their bit devs and nerd out. I guess I'm the head nerd of Bitcoin Bay, so I do chief nerd, I guess. So that was a community. I was getting into Bitcoin, and I wanted to bring that back here. It wasn't sustaining going to Austin every month. So I wanted to start it here. So I put it up on meetup.com, a BitDevs. This was at a time Bitcoin was hitting all-time highs of 60K, which we're afraid of now, I guess, which is fantastic. And so 60 people show up. Not one other engineer. So I'm sitting there, I'm talking about Taproot upgrade, I'm talking about, cryptography, pull requests, and everybody is just glazed over. And really, my intention starting it is really building a Bitcoin community here that I'm seeing in Austin and in Nashville. And I had this idea of Bitcoin Bay. I wanted to build, I saw it as a perfect opportunity here in Tampa. It's young, a lot of capital is coming here with COVID. It was just a perfect storm, and saw that vision. Now, the vision wasn't started the best, talking about libsecp at a BitDevs meetup, but that's when Wes and Fabio had shown up. After their eyes were glazed over, they came up to me after, and Jonathan as well from Unchained. He's also
not paying attention,
but he left us, so he doesn't get to be on stage. And so we sat at a bar, and it was three guys. It was like we hung out forever, and that's when I gave them the Bitcoin Bay idea, and these guys really just ran with it, and we built it to where we are today. Long-winded, but it's a fun story. It's good Bitcoin Bay lore.
Yeah, and it didn't take us, Fabio and I, very long to be like, dude, we gotta do basic stuff here.
101.
Yeah, so we started doing 101s. We went from the monthly meetup to the weekly meetup, 101s, guest speakers, workshops. That's how we ended up doing the first Bitcoin for Business workshop, where some of the guys that we met, like Pod Demo in the back, we found out there are other companies out here using Bitcoin already.
The OG Bitcoin treasury.
Yes. They consult with strategy all the time. So we wanted to be doing more practical things. We didn't want to just be another social event. I mean, I didn't need more friends to bitch about the state of the world. I mean, like this was fresh off of COVID,
I did.
Yeah, well. Yeah, after a while, it gets old to talk about the same things, complaining about the same stuff. So we're like, all right, what are we actually doing here? And so that was kind of when we started trying to be a little bit more actionable with what we're doing. And of course, I have a privacy screen on my computer, so I can't actually see the timeline that I put up there. So that's when we started doing the community service stuff. We wanted to actually be part of this community, and we weren't honestly, weren't aware if this was going to be illegal in a couple of years. So we're like, well, it'll be a little bit harder to arrest us if we're doing community service. But by the next year, we become the first Bitcoin meetup to incorporate as a nonprofit. And since then, there's been about a dozen others that have done so. And we ended up winning the Bitcoin Games in Miami and won 1 Bitcoin. And we ended up donating half of it to the other larger groups like Bitcoin Charlotte and then now Denver, who now have their own physical space and are growing. And so it's been amazing to see what the ripple effects of this have been. And from there, we partnered with the Beef Initiative, and we launched the Florida Beef Initiative, and we had our first Sound Money, Sound Food dinner event, which was Sound Money, Sound Food. It's pretty self-explanatory. They turned the timer on, so I'm going to talk a little faster. And then we also had our first family night, and for those who were there, it was a great idea, but it rained like 3 inches on us, and so we all huddled underneath the pergola for a couple hours. But after that, we had our first soiree, in January of last year, and that was a great month because it was also our first time going to the blockchain day in Tallahassee with the FBBA, and Senator Gruters is around. I think he stepped out, but he'll be talking about the policy coming up. And that's when we realized that there's a lot more education that needs to be happening here, but there's a lot of appetite for it. Florida wants to lead in this, and so we started hosting a guest lecture series. So for that entire summer, we pretty much had a new person. We had school board candidates, board of county election commissioner. Everyone was wanting to actually learn about this, and so we became the place to do that. We had the first halving party, as well as we started our Bitcoin boot camps, which have been great because it's big. This is a beginner thing, and you really just need to hammer it out over a couple hours, and you can walk away and actually kind of be good. Then we made history again on January of this year with the world's first Bitcoin Pirate Parade float in Gasparilla. So that was a lot of fun. We got to see, the UT guys in the crowd, which I didn't even mention. So the University of Tampa Bitcoin Club right here has been one of the best parts of doing all this, getting to know you guys. Also, they've been volunteers for today, so everyone give them a round of applause for them. They're great. And then immediately after, we hop on a plane and go to El Salvador for the Bitcoin Circular Economy Summit. So not only are we moving the needle here, people around the country are recognizing this and following us, and we're going international. So it's been insane, honestly. Then
to speak on that, our time in El Salvador, it was the Circular Economy Summit. So they had groups similar to us from all over the world. It was Thailand, Brazil, Puerto Rico, Cuba. You name it. Yeah, Costa Rica. There were groups all over the world that were, trying to follow, not necessarily follow our lead, but looking up to us in the sense that we're trying to build a community here, right? And one of the challenges here on an education side is in America, everybody views Bitcoin as an investment vehicle, and in these other parts of the world, it's money. They just use it as digital cash, like it was originally intended. So it was very eye-opening to kind of see how Bitcoin was changing the lives of people like that, and it's awesome to see the ripple effect that we can have right here in Tampa and beyond.
Yeah, in our history here on this, you see some themes that it isn't just Bitcoin as an investment vehicle. In a fiat world, the third place has been eroded, and we want to be that and build a community, working with ranchers, working with farmers, with the hurricanes, being able to go and help people, actually being active in your community, and Bitcoin being kind of a foundation of that, of a freedom of thought and building in your community. And it's been a big focus for us.
Yeah, I didn't even mention the hurricanes. I mean, obviously everyone was here for that. It feels like forever ago, but it wasn't too long, and some people are still rebuilding. And what we were able to do was coordinate, this gas station's open. There's sandbags over here. Most of our guys are preppers, so actually no one really needed help. But one of our guys' mom's house got destroyed. And so we sent the balloon up, and the Bitcoin community donated sats. And luckily, it was ripping at that time. And by the time we were able to get her the money, we raised $1,500. By the time we gave her the check, it was $2,000. So it put drywall in her bedroom. It's not nothing. And since then, we've started to expand our supporters programs. We had our first supporters range day. The range depends on the day, but so for all our monthly donors and volunteers, we'd like to try and showcase kind of what we're doing there. And we had our second blockchain day at the Capitol, which was even better than the first. And then everything was going great, and then we lost our home at the collab. So everyone who joined us there, it was a great venue. And if you follow our newsletter, you know kind of what happened, but basically the building went into foreclosure, and so we are now a little nomadic. So that's a big reason why we're hosting a fundraiser, is to find us a new home, but also to expand the school club sponsorships. University of Tampa has been great. I think you guys have set an example. I know we have FGCU that is getting started. We're expanding with USF. Gen Z for BTC, yep. So we're going to be expanding the school presence. We're going to be doing more stuff with the food. So there's a group here called Homegrown Hillsboro. We're going to be moving with them. And we like to do fun things. And so I'm saying it again, Carr, for the fourth year in a row. Hackathon on a boat. I've announced it in front of enough people. It has to happen now.
So another theme of what we do is we put it publicly what we're going to do. We're going to do a soiree. We're going to do a Gasparilla float. And we get together, and without all of your support to be able to do this, it's just so amazing to be sitting here from the first bit devs and meeting these guys at a bar to now on a stage and doing BitcoinDay conference, Gasparilla float, and I just have to thank all of you for supporting us. We really couldn't do this without you guys.
Thank you so much.
Thank you guys. And I guess the big announcement here is come to the soiree tonight, and we're going to be having our next one again in the winter, so it's a little easier to get suited up. But thank you again, everyone. Please join us tonight at 7 o'clock for the second annual Sound Money Soiree, and we will turn it over before Jack comes and gives us the actual hook.
Auctions, raffle tickets. We're homeless. We would like a home. So this is like the nonprofit. You got to shill for money, but really, we couldn't do it without you guys. We'd like to continue to do stuff like this and have great events and great speakers. So have a lot of fun tonight. Have a lot of fun for the rest of the day.
And we'll see you there.
Yeah,
we're excited. See ya.